I should have been asleep. It was beyond midnight, and the house was silent except for the occasional creak of settling wood. Charlotte rested beside me, her breathing calm, steady, unbothered, serene. I wasn't. My phone vibrated on the nightstand, its blue light casting a ghostly glimmer on the ceiling. I groggily groped for it, rubbing my eyes when I saw the name on the screen. Liam, my co-worker, my closest friend at work. My first inclination was to ignore it. It was late. Whatever it was could wait till morning. Then I read the message attached. To the video. You need to see this before Monday. Something about that sentence felt strange, like a warning, almost. I hesitated for a while before pushing play. The screen flickered to life, and I instantly recognized the setting, the company's annual staff party. I remembered that night well. I had departed early, fatigued from a tough week, while Charlotte had insisted on staying longer to socialize. I hadn't thought much of it at the time. After all, I trusted her. That trust shattered in the next 30 seconds. Charlotte stood in the center of the screen, a cocktail glass in hand, her grin brilliant, her stance relaxed, entirely at ease. Surrounding her were people I had known for years, my boss, my co-workers, even some of her co-workers. They were all laughing, engaged in conversation, drinking, rejoicing, and then Charlotte spoke. Oh, don't worry. By next month, I'll have a new husband anyway. That one's a worthless dumbass. He doesn't even know what's happening. Laughter erupted around her. Some chuckled aloud. Others hesitated, but no one defended me. I sat frozen, gazing at the TV, my pulse thundering. In my ears. What did she just say? I replayed it. Again and again. Each time the words pierced deeper, searing themselves into my memory. A new husband. Useless moron. He doesn't even know what's coming. My wife, the woman I had loved, supported, and sacrificed for over 10 years, ridiculing me, publicly. Not in a moment of drunken folly, not in anger, but in a moment of assurance, of surety, like she had been planning this. The shame was choking. This wasn't just an offhand joke. This was public. A room full of people had laughed at my expense, my employer, my co-workers, individuals I admired. They had been part of it, and I had been the naive idiot, utterly unaware. A deep, cold, old wrath poured through me. I should have felt sadness. I should have crumpled, doubting everything, but instead, something inside me hardened. She thought I was stupid. She thought I wouldn't see it coming. She believed she could disgrace me and walk away unscathed. She had no idea who she had just deceived. I set my phone down carefully, staring at the gloomy ceiling. My thoughts were no longer clouded with uncertainty or disbelief. They were keen. Precise, calculated. I wasn't going to face her now. No, that would be too easy, too predictable. I wasn't just going to react. I was going to prepare. By the time she knew what was occurring, it would already be too late. The first strike. I fled the house a short minute later. Charlotte observed from the upstairs window as she pulled out of the driveway. She was undoubtedly heading to work, undoubtedly messaging Jason Reed before she even hit the first stoplight. Horrified me. I had spent years developing a life with this woman, and now she was simply tossing it away for some co-worker in the IT department. But if she thought she was going to walk away clean, she had no idea what was coming. I grabbed my keys and headed to my car. But I wasn't going to work. I had somewhere far more essential to be. A.M. A visit to the law office I sat in. The sleek, modern office of David Hunt, a well-known divorce attorney. The kind of lawyer who didn't just win cases, he demolished the opposition. I had done my homework. Charlotte had already spoken to a lawyer, but she hadn't filed yet, which meant I still had time to turn the tables. David leaned forward, his sharp eyes scanning me. Tell me exactly what you want, and I'll tell you if it's doable. I met his gaze. I want her to walk away with nothing. He raised an eyebrow. That depends. Do you have a prenuptial agreement? I shook my head. No prenup, but I have something better. I dipped into my pocket and placed a USB drive on his desk. This is a video of my wife publicly humiliating me at a company party. I also have evidence of her financial transactions, specifically a $5,000 payment to a divorce counsel she never told me about. And I recently discovered she's having an affair with one of her coworkers. David picked up the USB, weighing it in his hand. "You did your homework," he whispered, a hint of approval in his voice. I nodded. I want a strategy that leaves her with nothing. No alimony, no assets, no way to collect anything from me. David smirked. "You're my kind of client." He leaned back in his chair, steepling his fingers. "We'll develop our case around infidelity and financial dishonesty. If she's been moving money, we can claim she was preparing to leave while still benefiting from your salary. That won't look good in court." "And the affair?" I asked. "If we can confirm it, it strengthens your position. Courts don't look kindly on spouses who betray their marriage while secretly planning their departure." I clenched my jaw. I need proof. More than just texts or suspicions. I need something undeniable. David nodded. "Then you need a private investigator." I had already foreseen that. "I have one on standby. He's already watching her movements." David gave an encouraging nod. "Fantastic. If we get photographic proof of her meeting this Jason Reed in a compromising situation, we'll have leverage. Combine that with financial records and the video, and we can make sure she doesn't get a single cent from you." "That's exactly what I want." David grinned. "Then let's get to work." 11:30 a.m. Watching the pieces move as I exited the legal office, I checked my phone. A message from Ethan, my private investigator. "Target came into work. No strange activity so far. We'll update." I smiled. Charlotte had no idea she was being watched. I gave a short reply. "Let me know if she leaves during lunch." Then I got into my car and drove. I wasn't heading to work yet. I had one more stop to make. 15 p.m. Face-to-face with the other man, Jason Reed's office building wasn't far. I had already investigated everything about him. His work schedule, his apartment, his gym routine, every detail that mattered. But today, I wasn't here to follow him. I was here to confront him. I strolled into the building, walking straight to the front desk. The receptionist, a woman in her mid-30s, glanced up. "Can I help you?" she asked politely. "I need to see Jason Reed," I said, my voice calm. "Do you have an appointment?" "No. But tell him it's about Charlotte." Her eyes twitched with intrigue, but she grabbed the phone and dialed his extension. "Mr. Reed, there's someone here asking for you. He says it's concerning Charlotte." A pause. Then I saw the change in her expression. "Yeah, okay. I'll send him down." She hung up and glanced at me. "He'll be right out." I didn't move. I just waited. A minute later, Jason strolled out. He was exactly what I expected. Early 30s, fit, dressed casually. The kind of guy who thought he was slick. He noticed me and paused. "May I help you?" he asked carefully. I took a step closer. "You don't know who I am, do you?" He frowned. "Should I?" I smiled coldly. "I'm Charlotte's husband." His face drained of color. I saw it. The slight twitch in his jaw, the way his shoulders tensed. He knew. I tilted my head. "Relax. I'm not here to cause a scene." He didn't say anything. "I have one question," I continued. "How long?" He swallowed. I don't know what you're talking about." I chuckled. "Don't insult me, Jason. How long have you been sleeping with my wife?" His eyes darted around, looking for an escape. "Look, man, I think you have the wrong—" "Don't lie to me." My voice was soft but carried weight. Jason sighed, massaging the back of his neck. "It's not what you think." "It's precisely what I think." He stared at me, then away. I already knew the answer. "Let me give you a warning, Jason. My voice was deadly calm. Keep away from my wife. His eyes snapped back to mine. So, you think she's leaving me for you? I smirked. That's adorable. You're just a pawn in her game, Jason. You were never going to win. His jaw tightened. She lied to me? And if you think she won't do the same to you, you're even dumber than I thought. I let that sink in before stepping back. You have one chance to get away from this before it turns ugly. Take it. Then I turned and walked out. Jason didn't follow. He had just learned he wasn't the one in control anymore. And neither was Charlotte.